Hi, welcome to Teacher Inspiration Station, and today's video I want to share with you my homework program for my grade 1 students. Now I have a question for you. Do you think I give too much? Hello, if it is your first time here, welcome. I'd really love it if you considered subscribing to my channel. I do teaching and lifestyle content, so if that's your jam, that's what you like, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started. So, homework. Homework. Some people love it, some people hate it. And I've always had an optional homework program, but I didn't make it official until last school year. Because parents didn't know it was optional, and sometimes they would write me notes about why it couldn't get done. Or kids would just say, you know, I did it in the car this morning. Or they'll slap something down in their notebook. I like the book, I like the book, I like the book, I like the book. That was their reading response. Just to get it done and out of the way, which drove me bonkers and put me in a mood. So I said, you know what, if you can't do it, that's fine. You don't have to do it. So I just sent a note home to parents, letting them know it's okay. And I actually got the idea from a teacher whose homework policy note went viral. And in it, she said the only homework she's assigning is work that's not done in class. And there's no research to suggest that homework actually boosts kids' grades and their academic performance. So she said, spend time with your kids, eat dinner together, and get them to bed early. So I took her idea and I created my own little notes. If I can find this note, that would be great. I talked to parents what my homework policy is and what I will assign, and if you can get it done, great. If you can't, that is completely fine. Now, before I actually get started on what I give for homework, I want to share quickly this idea, which is a communication bag. Every day this goes home, every day it comes back. And anything I need to send home, notes, forms, I put in here. Anything parents want to give to me, if they have a note for me or they have completed forms, borrow a book, things like that goes in the communication bag. Kids don't individually give me things. Oh, here's the form my parent filled out. It just goes in here. Homework included, okay? So the kids come in, they bring this with them, they take it out of their backpacks, and they bring it with them to their desks. On their desk is a little index card, and this index card has a high frequency word on it. I call them tricky snap words because the words they need to know in a snap. So I didn't invent that. What they do is they trace the word, and some of them know the word right away. A lot of them know the word, some of them don't, but they trace the word. I used to have it where they just copied it from the board, but then there were kids who copied it backwards and they spelt it wrong as the words get a bit more challenging. So I just do this, a highlighter, and they just trace it over with a pencil. Some kids write it underneath as well and things like that. That's cool. So they write their word for the day and they put it in this Ziploc bag. And it has the child's name on it. This is my name. And so every day it says your child will get a new tricky snap word for the week. And it's basically flashcards for them to practice reading and spelling the word, right? And so it goes in here. And then once the kids do that, they put it in their communication bag. Whoop. And then I have a bin for communication bags, and they take this and they put it in the bin, then they get a book. So that is their morning job, is doing their word for the day. If those words are too easy for kids, I do have some words that are a bit more challenging for some of those older kids. Not older kids, but for those kids who are a bit stronger. So I have character, usually, you know, just a couple of harder, more challenging words for those kids. So this is an example. And I find these lists online. Just click on high frequency words, grade 1, grade 2, whatever. You'll find a whole list. That's basically homework, except to go home and review the word. Okay, if they don't know it, it helps. Every day, my students take home a leveled reader. We know leveled readers, and I encourage them to take books that are their reading levels. And the kids know when I assess them, I tell them I'd like you to take from the C bin, or I'd like you to take from the F bin, or whatever. So they take the book and they read the book. And sometimes I'd like to give them guided reading books. If they're from the old set, I'm okay if they take that home, because if they lose it, it's not so upsetting. But if it's like the brand new books that we just got, those I don't send home. So they take home the book, they read the book, and then they write a response to it. And they write the responses in their reading response notebook. So I write here, reading response notebook, and their name goes there. Hi, Bubsy.
Hi.
Their name goes there, and then I have like a little note here, and I don't know where I got this note from. I don't know if I wrote the note myself or if I copied it and modified it a bit from another teacher. I don't know where I got this note. But basically it talks about that home reading is a very important part of our program, which I feel like read with your kids. That's cool. Even if it is one of these little readers, it doesn't take long to read with them. You know, it helps. They might read independently, or parents might choose to take part in the reading. And then here's some story starters that kids can use to start their reading response. So I predicted, I know, I like the story because, or I did not like the story because. And it also says here, for beginning writers, students can label their picture or copy a sentence from the book. So they can do something as simple as look at a page of the book and then just copy the sentence. It's beneficial. So that, and they get that every day, Monday to Friday. Also, once a week, I like to send home a math worksheet of different concepts that is being covered in class. I send it home, and if they hand it back 3 months from now, I don't care. That's cool. If they never hand it back at all, that's fine. If they hand it back the next day, that's fine. But I feel like this is great for parents because it lets them know what we're doing in school. To just give them an understanding, like, oh, you're working on addition right now. I do send home a monthly newsletter, but it's also good to have this to send home for parents to see. And I do that once a week, usually every Wednesdays. Also once a week, I give them this Making Words Take Home sheet, and I get the lessons from this book, Systematic Sequential Phonics They Use. And I love it because it tells you what letters to include in the lesson, and then it gives you like a whole script, like two letters and make it. Add a letter to it to make pit, and it gives a whole script. And then at the end, there's a mystery word, and kids have to use all the letters to figure out what the mystery word is. So I like the fact that it is challenging for those older students because the words do get bigger within one lesson. At the beginning, everyone's pretty much at the same lesson, but as you get to know your students, then you can differentiate the lessons. But I like to take that home for homework. I tell the kids, can you stump your parents? Can they figure out what the mystery word is? And it's fun. And so they manipulate the letters, and then they write whatever words they make in the little lines here. So basically what I do is I type out the letters in order, A, D, N, S, T for this one. It goes in alphabetical order. And then I do it again, but in the reverse order. So when I photocopy it front and back, it's uppercase on one side and lowercase on the other. So that's what I do. And I do this every other week. And lastly, the kids take home a poetry book. Now this cover I got on TPT for free. I'll link it down below. And there's a little note here about the importance of poetry. It builds essential literacy skills like phonemic awareness, fluency, vocabulary, expression. And I like to stick with themes that are happening right now. So like right now it's fall, so I have a lot of fall poems. And every Friday, the kids, we get in a circle and we just read our poems together, and they like it. It's fun. So that's what I do. Now I have to warn you, if you know parents, like half your class are going to bring back the poem books, then don't do it. Do it where you can have a poem for the week, but maybe they just take the paper and take it home and keep it at home and hope that they practice reading it. If it's going to drive you bonkers, they don't bring it back, then don't do it. But I love it. I love poems of the week, and it really does help with their reading. So I'll do a separate video on what I do exactly for poems. But yeah, that is it. That is my homework program. Do you think I give too much? Let me know in the comments below. I don't think I do. I feel like I give it. If you do it, great. If you don't, great. I just give it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.